Hi, I'm Ryan Malyar, and you're watching WMCT-TV, and we're here with a new episode of Chamber Spotlight. Of course, it's always a little strange when I'm sitting in the chair here, but we're in another transition, and I'm so pleased to welcome the new president and CEO of the Marlborough Chamber of Commerce, Michelle A. Mercier, and welcome to what is your show.
Apparently, apparently, thank you. And I'm so glad to flip the script a little bit on this and be talking to you today. That's fantastic.
Well, I'm a chamber member myself. Marlborough WMCT-TV has been a part of the chamber for many, many years. So maybe this conversation will be similar to what some other chamber members would want to have with you. We get to know who are you and say welcome and thanks in advance for your leadership, because we can certainly benefit from it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be in this role. You have no idea. I have so many ideas and I'm rare to go. I'm hitting the ground running. Week and a half in and I'm out the gate.
Let's rewind a little bit and tell me about you. What is your business background and what has led you to this position?
Yeah, so I have a really kind of, windy road of a background. So believe it or not, and this will come in handy for this spot, my undergraduate degree was in theater and music. So that comes in very handy for
Well, we have that in common too. BFA from Boston Conservatory over here.
Conservatory, fancy.
But that theater background comes in handy.
It comes in handy all the time. There's no way I could sit here as calmly as I am right now and be able to do that, or get in front of people and speak, or even, networking or anything like that. It always transfers over. And after I did that, I did that for a couple of years. I had some really amazing experiences, had an agent, did all sorts of things. And then, the thing about me is that I've always liked the business aspect of everything as well. So I actually went to BU and got a degree in running nonprofits, specifically the arts organizations, and driving economic development through the arts and things like that. So I have a degree in that, which I actually equate to kind of like an MBA, because they taught a lot of the same things. But that came in really handy too, because then I took the right brain and the left brain and kind of married them into that.
And there aren't many people that can do that well.
Right. Especially in the theater. They're all right-brained. A lot of them are right-brained. But I like doing that. That's kind of one of my superpowers, is I like playing in both right and left brain and being able to kind of marry the two of those together. It's fun for me. So then after that, I jumped in, I did a lot of nonprofit. I worked at the Arts Alliance in Hudson for a little bit, and I sat on their board. And then I jumped over to the for-profit sector, and I worked in technology for, about 8, maybe 10 years. I can't remember. It's kind of a blur. But I worked running international teams for PayPal. So I went from being a theater nonprofit kid to, Fast and Furious. And I'm really good at cleaning up messes, and I'm really good at innovating. So I was brought on specifically to run a major team and to rebuild it from the ground up for PayPal, which I did. And that was the biggest learning experience, I have to say, of my professional life, because I got to manage people. I got to, really play at the intersection of people, process, and technology, which was really, really cool. And then after the birth of my second son, I actually decided to go out on my own, and I've spent the last 8 years being an entrepreneur and a business consultant. And working in the entrepreneurial community. I've founded networking groups. I've chaired boards. I've done all sorts of different things. I have a podcast of my own with 150 episodes. I've done public
You got to give
speaking.
a shout out to that podcast.
I know, The Resilient Entrepreneur. That's go find it. 150 episodes deep. Go find it. No shortage of content there. I've done a lot of amazing things, including being a chamber member. So when I was approached for this role, I was like, I think this is a great marriage of all of my different backgrounds, and being able to really drive economic development and be able to partner with the city and partner with Meredith from MEDC, who the two of us brag on all the time. I have a little bit of a crush on her. She's fantastic.
She's actually the best.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So I think I'm really excited to step into this role and use all of my skills on both sides of my brain with it. Yeah.
Wonderful. When I was looking at your website, because of course I had to do a little research.
Of course you did. That's fine.
You talked about all of your speaking engagements. Are there particular topics that you speak about regularly?
Yeah, I literally have one later on today, and I had one last night that were kind of carried over that were already booked before I took this job. And that one in particular is on work-life balance, work-life integration. I do a lot of speaking on resilience, especially in business, which will come in handy, especially when working with our small businesses and even large businesses nowadays. Those are kind of my main 2 talks, is work-life integration and resilience in business. So those are 2 topics.
So now you're switching gears to the chamber once again, and what is getting you excited about this opportunity, and what are you going to really bring to the table here?
Oh, the potential, friend, the potential. I think, so my journey with this chamber started by starting the women's group that we have now. So I started that. We started conversations about that in Q4 of last year, and then it came to fruition in January, and we've sold it out the past couple months. And it just showed me that there is so much potential in the chamber. There's so many amazing and passionate people involved that there's no shortage of willingness to bring it forward and to kind of move it forward and make an impact in this region, even a bigger impact than we're already making. So that gets me really excited. I kind of geek out on it a little bit when I think about the potential there. But yeah, that's what I really love and I'm excited about.
What do you see as one of the main reasons for a chamber to exist? What
Oh God, there's
it's
so much. Yeah.
because sometimes it can be thought of as sort of an antiquated sort of model,
Yeah.
but it still has such value.
It really does. I was having a conversation earlier today. I was on our government affairs committee. And it's things like that people don't even realize that the chambers do, that they support the businesses in, that they partner with the city, that they, are constantly having these conversations on behalf of these business owners. And it's not just networking, right? Like we do so much more than just that. I mean, that itself is extremely valuable, but we do so much more than that. So when you look at, I hear that a lot too, like, oh, well, it's a chamber. Do we still need those? And I was like, you absolutely need those, because who is the collective voice going to the government? Who is that kind of bridge between the politics and the business? Like who is acting as that liaison? It's your chamber.
Because it's something that, as a small business owner, or even a large business owner, it's one more thing that you don't have time to
Yes,
do.
you do not.
It's one
No.
thing that it's in the back of your mind. Oh, I should
Yeah.
be out there advocating for this plan or for that, or go
Yeah.
to and get in touch with city council. But there's never enough time. And this is essentially one of your responsibilities.
Yes, it is. I mean, that and just the community building aspect of itself. Sometimes entrepreneurship specifically can be extremely lonely. So I think, and you don't know what you don't know. And even if you're 10 years in, sometimes there's new things to learn or technology is changing. And I think that's where the chamber can come in as well, to support people in that community aspect of saying you're not alone on this crazy journey of business. Like you are struggling and that's okay. We're all going to do it together and we're going to move each other forward. So that's what I think is exciting as well about the chamber model.
What do you think the chamber's role is in building community and, bringing people together and outreach within the community?
Yeah, I mean, I think like any other entity that's kind of like a chamber or something like that, we have a dedication, and we should be dedicated to building community, to bringing people together, to that feeling of connectedness. When you're walking in, whether you're walking in our doors and you are, a brand new business owner, whether you are a current member, whatever that is, but strengthening the current membership and making us stronger together is going to ultimately strengthen our community of the region, right? It's trickle down effect. So I think it's extremely important to be investing in the community from that perspective.
And what are your thoughts on fostering that collaboration between community members, that networking? It is very important.
Yes, it is. Yes. I mean, when people come to me and they're brand new in business, the first thing I tell them is build your network. That is the number one thing you have to do because you cannot do it alone. And I think you really need to rely on the knowledge base of those around you, as well as, on those hard days, who do you call? Like, what do you do to keep yourself going? Because I have to say, throughout the different chapters of my professional life, entrepreneurship is by far one of the hardest because it can be very isolating and it can be very, very hard. And also the bottom line is on you, right?
Right.
So you are responsible for that. And I think having those other people beside you, and also I don't want to say just entrepreneurship because the chamber does, support the larger businesses as well. But all of it goes to economic development. All of it goes to supporting our region and making this place that we live in a lot better, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the chamber does a wonderful job of having in-person events, but
Yes.
it doesn't have to stop there or only be these in-person connections. It's a
Right.
great way to meet someone for the first
Yes.
time, but we have so many resources online, on Facebook,
Yes.
on different ways for someone to continue those collaborations and outreach with one another as well.
Yes.
How do you see the future of that going?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Balancing these in-person meetups and these what is it called, after hours things, the
It's a
the
secret.
breakfast power hours,
Yeah.
balancing that with where people tend to spend a lot more time online.
Online. I think that's going to be probably one of my main items when I walk into a chamber or into this chamber in particular is that, you know, if we want to attract a younger demographic, we need to go where the younger demographic is. We need to be constantly communicating online in a more modern way, things like that. So that's definitely it's on my radar, and it's a big thing. And I think, I also want to listen to our members, though. I don't want to say, okay, let's put Zoom meetings on for the sake of Zoom meetings because they're convenient. I want to listen to people because people do want to be in person a lot nowadays. They absolutely do. But I think we need to complement that with a little bit more online. I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet, but it's in the back of my head, friend. It is definitely there.
What excites you the most about the future of the chamber and maybe in a broader sense, the future of Marlborough's economy?
Oh my goodness, the level of innovation that's coming, right? I mean, look around. It's an exciting place to live. Don't hate me, but I live in Hudson. I'm sorry. But I mean, watching all the communities in this area kind of grow over the past like 10, 15 years has been absolutely amazing. And then, seeing the continued growth and seeing again that word potential I keep coming back to because it's there and there's so much of it there. That gets me really excited to be a part of that. And also the new mayor that's in, I think today is officially we're shooting this on his 100th day. So shout out to him for that. And I think, it's just the sky's the limit, as cheesy as that might sound. But I think the innovation that's coming is really exciting.
Well, let's wrap this up on another positive note. And for someone who might be tuning in and seeing this program for the first time, and maybe they are beginning to dip their toe into entrepreneurship, what can a chamber offer them? What sort of invitation can you give someone to get involved or just learn a little bit more about what Marlborough's Regional Chamber of Commerce does?
Of course. So we do way more than you think we do. I just want to put that out there. I think, people who have been involved with us for a long time are always still amazed at what we do and the different things that we offer, from, auditing your expenses to, different health insurance things to all sorts of different initiatives.
Oh, I get an email once a week with a new benefit, with something that could benefit my employees, with something that could benefit my electricity rates. It's astonishing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I think people aren't, if they don't know to look forward or if they don't communicate with us, I want to encourage, like my door is open. Jen Campbell, who's amazing, by the way, who works for us, Darlene, our doors are open because we want to hear what you need as a business owner and what you need to grow your business so that we can align you with these many, many benefits. So if you are a newbie kind of coming in and you're like, well, what's this chamber thing about? Come talk to us, come learn from us, and we want to help you. And I think that's everyone, especially if you're in entrepreneurship or building a business or running a business, needs all the help that they can get because it's hard. It's hard.
Michelle, it's been wonderful having you on your show.
On my show. It's weird. That's weird.
It's excellent. And I'm so excited for you and
Thank you.
see which new directions the chamber takes in the coming months.
Yeah.
And can't wait to see you at least once a month on a standing date right here at
Yes, you will.
WMCT-TV.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Chamber Spotlight, where we will be featuring community businesses. Going forward, we have so many opportunities to feature you right here on WMCT-TV. So thank you for tuning in. Take care.